Morning, everyone. My name is Evan Redding, and the company that I'm choosing to highlight today is Goldman Sachs. First thing I want to talk about with Goldman Sachs is before their website. When you search Goldman Sachs, here's something to note: the immense scrutiny that the company consistently goes through. They're the #1 investment bank in the world, and therefore people have a strong disconnect with how this company makes money based on how the average human makes money as well. Company profits are so large, and you'll see that in the annual report information, that there is a strong disconnect between Main Street and Wall Street. And what we see is the consistent effect of the news reports that come out about how employees are, their revenues are slashed, or their pays are slashed because of dropping revenues. But in years of immense revenues, where employees are given these vast bonuses, there's an outcry as well. So where does the medium lie? So as we take a look to their website does a lot to try and ease these concerns. The website is very organized. It has a main navigation menu and also drop-down menus as well, depending on what you're looking for. So we're going to jump into the R firm to start. So when we look at the company's leadership, it's broken down into 3 different committees: the board of directors, the executive officers, and the management committee. I'd like to highlight the executive officers first. David Solomon is the chief executive officer. He's the guy on the front page that you see every single day when you read about Goldman Sachs. This used to be Lloyd Blankfein. Lloyd Blankfein was the man who rose Goldman to the top. He's no longer the CEO. He chose to step down. And my personal opinion is that I think we're going to see him use the revolving door, and we're going to see him in government very soon. Goldman is one of the biggest power players when it comes to finances in the global finance industry. So these folks consistently use the revolving door. But as you can see, as we look through their executive team, we don't see too much diversity, which could be a concern considering they are a global company. The company, I should mention that they were founded in 1869 in New York, and they're still headquartered there today, although they do have different continental headquarters as they're a global company. When we look at the company overall, they try and come off as a very relatable company, one that anyone can work for, one that supports a diverse community. As we can see in their leadership, they haven't quite gotten to their top level yet. But on every page, it consistently uses employees from vast backgrounds, ethnicities, which is quite welcoming. A lot of what they talk about on their pages are both for their business aspect, but also the responsibility of the organization as a whole. So here are their different business segments. They have investment banking, client services, investing and lending, and investment management. Goldman Sachs is known for being an investment bank and something out of reach, but they're actually modifying their business segments to be more relatable to the average consumer. They now have a savings account division as well. So now just your average consumer can get involved with Goldman Sachs. Insights about the company: they do a lot to educate the average consumer about what they're doing and where they should invest their time and money. Growing trends: they have an entire division dedicated to doing research in just open field studies, and this is mostly highlighted on their Twitter page, which we'll get to in a little bit. So over on the right-hand side, we have investor relations, which talks about their annual reports, their governance, and also additional things that their shareholders would always want to know about. So when we look at the annual report, it's pretty easy to get to, easy to navigate. If I'm an investor, I'm pretty happy about this website. And also additionally, the financial information. So a lot of times companies, what you see is that you have to dig through the annual report in order to find the financials. Goldman Sachs has separated the two so that you can go directly to what you're looking for. So as we jump into investor relations, just the overview, again, it reiterates the different segments of the investor's page, which is really easy to navigate as well. Additionally, like Clarence said in his presentation, they have their share price. This is mostly because they are a publicly traded company, but additionally they are a financial firm that operates on the global markets, and so they want to embody that way about their company. So that's something else I noticed about the company as well. So as we look at this website, it's very user-friendly and it's very conservative in the nature in which it comes off. I believe that this is because they use their different mediums to speak to different audiences in the way in which those audiences use them. If I'm someone who's from an older generation, I might be more inclined to use their website rather than their social media platforms. So what we see is a lot of pictures, but the pictures are not very engaging or interactive. They're just there, and the site is very easy to navigate. It's very well thought out, organized, and logical. But if we look over at their Twitter page, their earnings report is at the top, of course, because that's what rules the company. But if we look through, there's a lot of articles and videos and interactive things that engage with really just cutting-edge thought processes, schools of thought, and that's what they're looking to do, is to engage the younger crowd on a younger platform such as Twitter with these different types of ideas that they come off with, or the talks that they have. We can see David Beckham here. He's not a financial analyst. He's not someone who stands out in the financial field, but he speaks to young people because that's somewhat of an athletic hero that we've grown up with. So they engage those types of people on the pages that they're trying to engage with young people, which I thought was extremely important for the company to do. Additionally, they have a YouTube page where they have more and more videos. These videos are really just about the talks that they host, some stories that they're starting to cover. What they're doing is they're creating a hybrid model of not only a financial company, but also a reporting company. So they're doing these studies and they're coming up with these different ideas and thoughts that they're trying to share with the world. And they're doing a great job of it. Their views are fairly small in some videos, but when we look at some of their higher profile videos, 81,000 views on the video. And they're kind of picky and choosy as you go through of which ones are more high profile than others. But most importantly, they're changing their dynamic to speak to younger generations, which is extremely important. One thing that I really want to mention in terms of their investor relations is in their annual report, they have a key outline of what their strategy, objectives, and key tenets are. There's a roadmap of how the company operates, and it's really important that investors understand exactly where leadership is taking the company in the future, and they clearly outline that, which I find that to be extremely advantageous for investors. The website is very wordy, which I would recommend they cut down on. I think that there's a way in which they could organize a little bit better to be less wordy and still get their point across. But again, as we look at pictures, there's a huge amount of diversity and inclusion in the pictures. My question is the company really practicing what they're preaching, considering their hierarchy of leadership, and what the leadership looks like at the top? So additionally, they talk a lot about social responsibility and how they're investing their money into clean energy, but socially responsible companies that emphasize the triple bottom line. This is what they've been doing since 2012, $80 billion in investments, and their target by 2025, and they would be a leader in their industry to do so, would be to $150 billion in investments in these companies. Again, this speaks to a younger demographic to create a sustainable model for growth within the company. Thank you for listening.